set. Welcome to our new unit, Unit 4. This is the forms of linear equations, the many forms of how to make a line. Today's date is Thursday, October 29th, 2020. It's almost Halloween. Yes, so 4-1 slope intercept form. Welcome to your y equals mx plus b that Giorgio has been talking about forever. Our objective today is to do what? Ripley.
For slope intercept form, identify the slope and y-intercept. Create an equation and graph one.
Yes, there is an error right there. How many people see it? How many people are getting extra credit right now? Look at your own notes. It's kind of hard to see up here. I know it's a small screen. How many people see an error? I'll give you guys another 10 seconds. If you find it, you get your extra credit.
I see another error.
It is a typo.
I see another one.
You see 2 errors. Awesome. Raise your hand if you see the error. Ripley, what's the error?
Is it create and equation?
Yeah, it should be create an equation, not and equation. That's weird. Create an equation. So give yourself a pat on the back and 1 extra credit point if you found that. What was the other mistake, Giorgio?
On the back, it's example 4 and example 4.
Oh, you already caught it too. Nice. Yeah, there's example 4 and example 4.
Exactly. None of us have had to see it.
All right, so Giorgio is the only one that gets the extra credit because he's ahead of everyone else. All right, so let's talk about our general form. This is y equals mx plus b. You can call it y equals mx plus b form. You can call it slope intercept form. I typically call it slope intercept form. Why do I call it that? Because our m is slope. Our b is the y-intercept. And just as a review from Unit 3, the y-intercept is where what is equal to 0 with a quiet raised hand. The y-intercept is where what value is equal to 0. Yes, Zeke.
X.
Yes, this is where x is equal to 0. I'll put that underneath. That means x is equal to 0, or it also means something like this. It means that you have 0, comma, a number, and that number is that y value that is b. So maybe even better, instead of saying 0, comma number, it's 0, comma b. B is the y value for that y-intercept. All right, so there is a name in mathematics that we say for a number that is in front of x. If this m is in front of the x, that has a name that starts with C. Does anyone know what that name is called? Ashley? Coefficient. Everyone write it down. The coefficient of your x variable is always going to be your slope. I'll write out coefficient. If you want to think in simple terms, if you have to, again, explain it to your younger sibling, if you have one, the number in front of the x, that is the slope. That will affect how steep the line is. All right, so just kind of making sure everyone is on the same basis. This letter M will change steepness. Letter B changes how up and down I move. All right, let's go to example number 1. I need to find the slope and the y-intercept of this y equals negative 3x plus 5. Who has it? Sorry, Giorgio, I probably will not call on you for the rest of the lesson since you've already done this. You can go into the homework. It's already up on Khan Academy. Braden. Careful. So the x is not included. It's just the number in front, just the coefficient. Yeah, so just negative 3. Everyone write down Braden's answer. The slope is negative 3. And therefore, the y-intercept is what? Someone else, Haiti? 5. And you're close. Remember, y-intercept should be 2 numbers, so it should be something, comma, something. Do you remember which one? Where does 5 go? Is it the left or the right? 0, 5. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Let's move on to example number 2. Slightly harder. Y equals negative x. I don't see any numbers. There's no 5. There's no 3. I see a negative, but what's going on here? I see 2 people that already have their hands raised. Who can tell me the slope? Is that a you don't? Alden just went like this, and then Ripley, tell us what is slope?
Would the slope be 0?
careful here. So the slope is in front of x. If I had a 0 in front of x, 0 times x would be 0, and I would have the equation y equals 0. So in the equation y equals 0, the slope is 0 because there is no x. But I do have something in front of x. It's just kind of hard to see. Can I give it to Zeke? Yeah, Zeke.
-1.
It is indeed -1 because -1 times x, I can write this out over here. -1 times x is equal to -x. So there's a hidden -1 in front of this. And what must the y-intercept be then? Again, it's kind of hard to see. Alden? 0. So another way of saying this equation, this is the same thing as y is equal to -1x plus 0. These are the same equations. So you can maybe do an arrow that goes both left and right, saying, yeah, you can go either way. All right, slightly harder now. Example number 3. Complete the equation of the line whose y-intercept is 0, -4, and slope is 1. So you are making the equation now. Who can make the equation for us? Who have I not talked to yet? I haven't talked to Diego yet. Diego, you want to try this one?
Sure. So it would be y equals 1x plus, no, it would be -4.
-4, there it is. And then you can simplify this a little bit because whenever you have 1 times x, Diego, that's really,
Just x.
yeah. So you could also say y equals x minus 4. So I consider both of these mathematically correct, Diego. But in terms of which one is simplified, the second one, y equals x minus 4, is the most simple form of that. And specifically for Khan Academy won't give you the correct answer if you do the first one, typically. Sometimes they may, but in my experience, they do not. All right, so let's look at everything graphically. Graphically means there's this graph here. We have this equation, y equals -2/3 x plus 2. The general procedure that you want to do is you want to first graph the y-intercept. So down here where it says step 1, graph the y-intercept first. That means graph B. I'll put like B up above here. Graph B first. And then you're going to use the m, the slope, to find another point. At least one more point, but maybe 5 or 6 or 7, as many as you can, right? So that way it's nice and accurate. On paper, you need to be accurate, but with technology, you can be messy and you'll still be fine. Like you can just have 2 points. It'll be exact. So we're going to use the slope. Again, that's the variable m, to find at least one more point. So let's do this procedure. So first, I'm going to graph the y-intercept. Who can tell me what is the y-intercept and where do I go? Yes, Ripley again. It would be at 2. What comma 2? Is it something comma 2 or 2 comma something? 0 comma 2. That means I go 0 to the right and left. I don't move, and then up 2, 0 comma 2. I have graphed your point, Ripley. Thank you. Okay, another volunteer. After I've graphed this y-intercept, again, if you want to draw arrows for things, you can say this plus 2 means I'm on the y-intercept right here at 2, or on the y-axis at 2. It's a y-intercept, y-axis. It's the same thing. Now I'm going to use the slope. I'm on step 2. I just did step 1. Check. Step number 2, I'm going to use that slope. This slope right here, -2/3, to find one more point. All right. Who can help us analyze what to do? Jose? 2 down, 3 to the right. And then let's go ahead and annotate this. So our slope is change in y over change in x. And change in y, again, if you have a negative symbol, this negative really belongs with the top, the numerator. So I have -2 over +3, which means down 2, right 3. So from our original y-intercept, you always start at that first point. I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, and then right 3, 1, 2, 3. And I get our new point. And you can do that over and over again. I can do the reverse of that too. Instead of doing down 2, right 3, I can do left 2, or sorry, up 2, left 3, up 2, 1, 2, left 3, 1, 2, 3. And I can get a third point to make it even more accurate. And then graph the line that goes through those. right. I'm moving on to the back side. Example number 4. I'm going to graph -4/3 x plus 5. You guys are now telling me what to do. You know the procedure because we've just done it in example number 3. Well, I guess not really in example number 3. In this graphing or analyzing graphically problem. Now we're actually doing an example. You guys help me out. What do I do first? Who have I not called on yet? Oh, Carlos. ¿Qué vamos a hacer primero? ¿Qué es nuestro, how do you say step? ¿Cómo se dice? Paso, okay. El primer paso. Okay. I'm going to need some help to translate that then. Pregúntame. Give me a question. Ask me a question. In
He said he got confused. He said, I think it's 0.5, but he's confused right now.
Okay, because entiendes que nuestro primer paso es para usar este número por el intersección a nuestro axis.
He said that's what he said.
Okay. Okay. So you do understand. Okay, so yeah, so 0, 0, 5 está aquí. Yeah, that is the first step. Gracias. All right, and then the next step. And I think everyone's in, so I can just call in anyone now. Yeah, Jose.
Pull down. And to the right.
There it is. So 4 down, come down here 4, and then 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3 to make another point. And I can keep doing that pattern over and over and over again. Let's go 4 down again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 to the right. And then you can do the reverse of this as well. You can go up 4 and then 3 left to have as many points as possible. And then you make a line through those points. And just, just making sure that everyone has these notes down correctly. Our slope is always change in y over the change in x. And our slope in this case is -4, 3. Change in y is your up or down, up and down. Change in x is your left and right. So that means I'm going down 4, right 3. And then the opposite of that still works, which means you can also do up 4, left 3. That's the same slope. That's just making it so that the negative is in the denominator instead of the numerator. All right, I need a fist of 5. Where is everyone right now in terms of graphing? En 5 dedos, ¿dónde está todos? 4, 5, 5, 5. All right, everyone do example number, well, it should be example number 5. Do example number 5 on your own. I'm going to come around and check you guys off. After you finish example 5, you may move on to the 2 homework assignments that we have on Khan Academy. All right, solving this one. The main thing you need to know is that the number in front of the x is 1. So that means that we're going to have y is equal to 1 over 1x minus 4 is the same equation. Y-intercept, -4. And from there, you're going to go right one. Sorry, that's going to be up one, right one. So up one, right one, up one, right one, up one, right one. You can see the pattern. Just continue them on and on. You can see we can go through the diagonals of these squares, diagonals of the squares, diagonals of the squares, all the way up here, and make your line, and we are done. Shoink.